All right, so that's how to carve out the form of the skis. Next, we go on to bending the skis, and this is where you really benefit from using green wood, because the green wood allows you to bend them in a lot simpler process. I'll put up some pictures here, and you can see there's a form that you build, very simple form, that you then put the skis into and slowly tighten up the skis, you know, the boards on the skis that cause the bend. As you heat with a torch the wood, it allows it to be more pliable, and you can then bend the skis into form and leave them to dry. And in that way, you can easily and quickly put the bend in your skis. Because I'm using boards that I had, cedar dried boards, I wanted to use them to use the cedar, and also because it was knot free. I'm gonna do a different method, and I'll show you now how to bend the skis that way. It's a little more in depth. There's a little, you know, there's a little more, it's more of a process, but both work. So given the wood you have, you can choose which process. Ideally, as in the skis that were green there, you'll see there's the bend in the middle of the ski, and that I actually attempted to put that bend in there. Here's a picture from the form I built after I had soaked the skis, and then, you know, you could heat it and try to, the heat helps the wood molecules take on the form, so that when you pull them out of the form and they dry, you know, after they're dry, they don't bend back to their original shape. I don't think I soaked the skis long enough for the wood to for the water to permeate deep enough, so I didn't get the bend there. But that said, we'll see how much that affects their use. All right, so here I've got the skis in the tub of water. I'm gonna boil them for, once it gets boiling, I'll let it boil for about a half hour before I try starting to bend them. I'm gonna try giving it a little bend while it's still in the water, very carefully. Don't spill on yourself. Just trying to loosen the fibers. Bend this back and forth. Put it in the water a little longer, really try to loosen those fibers on this one. Uh-huh. Alright, see it? Look at that ski. Bending. Alright. Okay. Keep feeding the fire. Make sure they're straight. About the same, that's good. Alright. Pretty good. So now that I got them both bent, I'm going to put them in the shade in my basement for several days as they slowly dry out. You don't want to leave them out in the sun or they will be liable to crack if they dry out too fast. Here's what we have. See, good bend in the nose there. We'll see how it holds. Alright, so as you can see, I've gotten the skis out of the forms. They sat in there until they were good and dry. Got a nice bend in the nose here. So now I'm just going to carve in the point on the nose. And so I'll find the halfway point, which on these will be 3.5 inches. Then I'll mark somewhere around, this isn't an exact science, you can, however you want your nose to be, but I'll go down about 5 inches here, 5 inches on the other side, and then connect what I'm gonna carve out, and then I'm gonna carve that out. Alright, flip this around. Ooh. And go the other way. Beautiful. We'll see if this cedar is strong enough. Again, a little experimental on the wood type. But if it is strong enough, they'll be really nice because they'll be super lightweight. There you go, simple as that. Got our 2 skis now. The nose carved in and ready to go for the next step. Alright, so what we're doing here is, because I'm using cedar and I'm afraid it might be a little brittle, although it's beautifully lightweight, I want to reinforce it. So you wouldn't usually have to do this step, but because it is cedar, we're going to reinforce it by using this 2-part epoxy resin, slapping it on here, and then just overlaying this cotton fabric over the top and epoxying it on. So it's an experimental way of strengthening a lightweight but somewhat brittle wood, and we'll see how that goes. Again, if you weren't using cedar and you were using more traditional like willow or the poplar or spruce, they don't usually do this, but here we go. So we'll pour that on here. Yeah, it is.
goes. Yeah.
Ready, set, go. Well, it is Dewey, but not like Ready, set, go. Ready, set, Zaya.
Is that half of the stuff?
Yeah, about. We'll have to make more to go.
Something on.
You try that?
Alright.
A little bit of that off.
Alright.
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Grab one of these.
Place our strip of fabric. Of course, they make specific fabric for this. This is the cheap version. Oh yeah. That's looking good.
I know why they have gloves. Papa, why do you have gloves on?
So my hands don't stick to the ski.
This is a lot of work to do that, Uncle Ben.
It's a lot of work.
To do what? Make those skis.
Making
the
skis
skis.
is a lot of work.
A lot of work, but you're gonna love it when it's done.
You can go flying over the snow.
But I never watched you make skis, and this is my first time.
This is your first time making skis?
This is my first time watching you make skis.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What a memorable moment.
Yeah, right.
That's really fun when they grow up and make skis.
You're gonna be making skis too, yeah.
When they grow up.
Cruise in the snow.
Hey.
All right.
The next time you make skis, I won't watch it. So this is
There you go. All right, so it's the next day. That resin's hardened on there really well, giving him some good strength. As you can see, we can support our weight. Doesn't break on one ski. So now I'm just gonna trim up the edges with the old Leatherman. Just clean it up, and then we'll be ready to give it a quick sanding and glue the hides on the bottom. So that's that, as you can see anyway. Showing you what I'm doing, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. It's definitely gonna add strength, both so it doesn't split this way or horizontally. So nice, pretty excited to try them out.